This meeting is being recorded.
What's going on, guys? Here with Chris, and yeah, doing a little fun little meeting for you too.
Yeah, guys. So I'm here with Jeremy. He's my boy. You know,
Oh, man.
we met about a year ago, and he's great, very awesome. Like you guys are gonna love him, and we're just gonna pick his brain for about the next little bit of minutes or so.
Yeah.
And the main thing is we're just gonna learn from him because what he's really done well is he's really done a great job of taking fitness and making it a lifestyle. So let me ask you this, like you're big on kind of like the model, the movie star lifestyle. I mean, Jeremy, what really got you to put your eye on maybe that branch of fitness specifically in the first place?
Um, I felt like I wanted an advantage in life, and like I feel like just maxing out my physical attraction could help me do that. I believe
Mhm.
like the bodybuilder side's great, but it's not really for me, so I don't really care that much to be as big as possible, even as lean as possible. When I first started, I was kind of obsessed with like, 6, 7% body fat, like sustaining that.
Mhm.
Now I'm kind of just like 10%, 9, 10%, 9 to 11 is like my where I float around. Um, and yeah, no, I just kind of wanted to be a guy that was just always more physically attractive as opposed to just being as big or as lean as possible, which also means like taking care of my skin, taking hygienic, right, dressing well, all that kind of stuff. And so I kind of went the other way. I did 2 workouts a week and
Mhm.
I was like, I got pretty solid gains off that. So I just kind of rolled with it. And yeah, I feel like I'm pretty happy with my body right now. And like you said, just all about making a lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's really interesting. Like you mentioned the bodybuilder kind of style,
Yes.
going like very super hard, and you're kind of going a different path. I mean, the 2 workouts a week, like what really drew you to the 2 workouts a week? And you mentioned getting some pretty solid gains. Like why do you think it's so successful, so effective?
I believe majority, if you're leaning down, if you're trying to add as much muscle as possible, it's not optimal. And I am not ever going to tell someone that. But if you're leaning down, you have a bigger appetite and you are just trying to have the key lifts there, your shoulders, your upper chest, your back, and of course, a bit of arms and leg proportion and everything like that. But you don't need as much volume as you think. If the main focus is getting lean, focus on that and just retain the muscle. You can
Mhm.
get very lean just working out 2 days a week as long as your lifts are staying relatively the same. So if you're doing 80-pound dumbbells on shoulder press and for 5 reps, if every week it stays the same, like if you're getting like no, if you're losing 50 pounds, okay, this should be going up. But like if you're going from like, 11% body fat to like 8% body fat, then the main focus is just slicing off the last fat. Like you don't need a ton of volume reps and sets because the priority should just be keeping your appetite low so your macros are the priority, right? Because the calorie deficit and everything like that. So that's where I kind of got it from. And then when I just want to sustain my body, like during the summer, I love doing 2 workouts a week just because it's just my thing. I'm very social, uh, more physically doing stuff with work and everything like that. So it gets broken with travels, summer plans, and everything. So I just kind of ran with the 2 workouts a week. Right now, I'm lean bulking. I upped it to three. I started that in it's November now, so I started that in like October. But
Mhm.
like I said, it's not optimal for like best optimal for muscle growth. But if you're trying to just get like very lean for like a period of time and just sustain it, like I've noticed we work really, really well.
Yeah, yeah, and you mentioned a couple interesting things, like with really making it a lifestyle. I mean, you're out traveling,
Yeah.
you're out on adventures,
Yeah.
doing a lot of crazy stuff, making it a lifestyle. Like, what's some advice you would give to someone who is kind of going with this 2 workouts a week, but really struggling to like make it stick with them, like keep it lean without sacrificing their lifestyle and like living like a bodybuilder, like a gym fella, as they say.
Yeah, I would take out all the shit that you don't really care about. Like right now, I generally don't give a shit about my back width, right?
Mhm.
Sorry, not the back, how dense it is. So like any type of
Mhm.
rows, I'm not even doing right now, just because it's not
Mhm.
something I really appetize for. I do it occasionally, but it's more so just as a maintenance thing, like just keep myself active in that sense. But I don't really train for that. Same thing with like certain calf muscles. Like I just it's very hard to add muscles on your calf, so I just feel like what's the point of training on it? So I cut it the
Yeah.
useless bullshit volume. Bullshit to my standard, So that could be something that's relative. That's cool. But I keep it very minimal and focus on the muscle groups I want to grow. And as long as you're addressing your physique and with measurements, like I mean you hit your leg day, bro. But I mean you don't have to add a crazy ton of size to your legs, right? As long as it looks
Yeah.
proportionate, athletic, you're able to jump high,
Yeah.
run fast, sprint, like all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't really care for like massive legs. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
No, I agree.
it's cutting through all the bullshit and then focusing on what you want. Okay, if I want big shoulders, solid upper chest, and some thick arms, then it's like, okay,
Mhm.
here's a routine. And you can do that off 2 days a week,
Yeah.
right? You're doing the bare minimal to get by looking like a Hollywood actor.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. And like, as far as like integrating and making it a lifestyle, I mean, you mentioned, wanting to look your best possible to
Yeah.
open up, other avenues of life. Like, what do you think are some avenues of life that have opened up now that you have this lean physique, with the muscle in the
Yeah.
key area?
Uh, career and career especially, and then also like dating life abundance, like 10x. So
Hang on, you gotta say that with more enthusiasm, man.
yeah, I mean, 10x the dating life, and no, the career as well. Like when I got into fitness, like I was like, okay, like I want to share my passion with everyone, and I kind of just fell into sales, and I mean, I think it's fair to say I do fairly well in that category. I guess you could
Mhm.
call it that, and yeah, it gave me a lot more confidence because like when the goal fitness teaches you is if you set a goal and you stay consistent, you can accomplish it. And you just take that and
Mhm.
apply it to other areas of your life. I have a call at 8 p.m. tonight that I just literally got booked and I don't want to fucking do it. And I was like, oh, I kind of just want to chill. And I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I gotta fucking do it. It's kind of like, well,
Yeah,
I don't really want to hit a workout right now. I mean, it's blah blah blah. It's like, well, now you have to fucking do it because I said that. Now I have
yeah.
to, right? So I just told Claire, like, yeah, book it. And so like it's like a muscle that applies to every part of your life. And
Mhm.
you start noticing like I, I I think it's just like you start walking around with a self-pride where you look at other people and you're just like, damn, I'm glad I'm not you. Like
Mhm.
I am so
Yeah,
grateful to be me. Like,
yeah,
like um and, and yeah, like I just even like yeah, you just have a self-pride where like you truly believe like you always believe you have a lot to learn, but you believe no one's better
Mhm.
than you,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
No, yeah. That I always say it's like having a dog, a little bit of a
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah, like you always think no, there's a lot left for you to learn, but there's no one fucking better than you. And it's an egotistical, humble way of looking at it that just like pisses people off, but
Yeah,
really attracts a lot of people. As in like,
yeah.
yeah,
Speaking of egotistical, humble, and attracting a lot of people. So I know you brushed it off, but I know the boys are. You got their interest with one statement. So like,
yeah.
10x the dating life. Okay, like talk to me like what's the biggest difference with your interaction with women maybe before getting like this model physique and post getting this model physique.
Yeah, so I think every guy has a fantasy of like getting really good shape and then getting all the women and everything like that. And I what you come to notice is that if you never get rejected, that means you're just shooting way below your standards. Like you're just hitting the twos and threes, right?
Mm.
So of course it's still you realize like it's still possible to get rejected because you're not everyone's type. Some people have husbands, some people have maybe wives. Some girls you're just not their type. They're just but you're attractive, but you're just necessarily not their type, right? Some of them could have went through trauma and they're not interested in going with another guy. Like you, some girls are just not on the market. But what you can do is put yourself in a better position to have more attraction.
Mhm.
in that dating life. And you start looking at it from a perspective as, especially when you're entering like your mid 20s, you're like, am I going to reject them? Like, are they qualified to be with me? As
Mhm.
opposed to, do I have what it takes to date this girl? Like, it's
Yeah.
just, no, 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 no. It's like, I'm here and they need to work to get with me because I am
Yeah.
totally okay calling the date off or uh, being on my own tonight because
Yeah.
I've got my standards high. And having that mental frame, it's like you're not selling yourself to the girl, she has to sell you or
Yeah.
something to you. And when you have a position like that, one, you come off way less needy
Mhm.
and you come detached. And when you come detached, you attract.
Yeah.
And it started all with getting in shape. And then you have to obviously work on yourself, build yourself up as a person, learn how to talk to people. I think I think online dating has destroyed people from talking to each other because
Mhm.
And Hinge or whatever, it essentially puts them in a position where they can't get rejected. So it's easier,
Yeah.
right? Because you match with people that already find you attractive. But then
Yeah.
if you see that girl in person, you would never go approach her because
Mhm.
there's an opportunity for rejection, which hits your ego and you stay
Mhm.
stagnant. So you don't evolve, you don't grow, you don't have tough conversations. So even if you date the girl, you can't even have a tough conversation. You don't even know how
Yeah.
to communicate properly, right? You
Mhm.
can get a text. I can text you and you can answer tomorrow. You can take an entire day to think about it, of how to
Yeah.
respond, right? Before it was just
Mhm.
all in person. You're just like, it said this, I'm gonna say this. If it was fucking
Mhm.
weird, I'm weird. If it was weird, yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just think online dating is like really trashing that and like having a position where like fitness gave me the position where it's like, okay, these girls will sell themselves on me. I'm not gonna sell
Mhm.
myself to them. And like even something I do is like every time I go to a, like a restaurant or wherever I'm at, and the waiter says, "Are you celebrating anything tonight?" And I'll say the girl's name. It's like, "Oh, don't be shy, share your big win." And I keep the girl on her toes. And if she doesn't have a good answer, then I know she can't think on the fly. There's a bit
Mhm.
of a disconnect on like, okay, well, like it wasn't really that funny, she's a little shy, and that's fine, just not necessarily my type, right? If she says
Yeah.
something funny, she says something cool, it's like, all right, cool, we're gonna hit this off. But I'm keeping her on her toes, and
Mhm.
it's another thing where it's like, tell me what you would say in this answer. Like I'm testing you, they're not testing me, I'm testing them,
Yeah.
and that abundance mindset. And it's like I also know that if I'm attractive enough and have my shit together financially and know how to be a really good communicator, I think
Mhm.
great communicator is one of the most underrated things. I
Mhm.
know I can just do whatever I want if this doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And I think
Exactly.
people only feel pressure if they feel the time collapse on them, where it's like, oh my God,
Mhm.
I'm 25 and I'm not married. And it's like, go at your own time frame.
Yeah.
Because like if you rush it, you're gonna just find someone that was the best you can do. You might not even have all your shit together, and then you're just gonna be divorced by 31.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then
The
restart the process again. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it kind of goes back to being comfortable with yourself and being comfortable not having anyone because then at the end of the day, your standards are met. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So like if you really want to 10x your dating, like fitness, it starts with fitness. People that say looks don't matter, they do. They do.
Yeah.
They do. Right? Fitness is the first stepping stone. Then you got to learn how
Mhm.
to talk and communicate, right? Because your body's the marketing where it attracts, right? Your
Mhm.
communication is the client journey, the sales process of what if they vibe with it, right?
Yeah.
Solution. And I believe like the only thing you can't be like homeless, but you don't need to be like a fucking millionaire, right? You just have to
Mhm.
you have to be financially stable to sustain a family. Like
Mhm.
have like pay for a kid's school, whatever, tutors and shit. And those are like the three main pillars. So if you can check all those things off as an awesome communicator, you're physically attractive, you have your shit together in your career, whatever that looks like by your standards, you'll do just fine.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of guys look for the girl before they have all that, which is fine, but the quality won't be there. And it'll be a more rockier relationship. Like if I look at my 19-year-old self, as in was that guy ready for a relationship? Fuck no. You know?
Yeah.
And I still kind of wonder that like when I'm 30, I'm like, well, gee, man, when I'm at 24, am I even ready? But like, I mean, the market
Yeah.
will always determine your value, right?
Let me ask you a question since you brought it up. Because I think a powerful thing is, a lot of times we speak to the past version of ourselves. So if you were to go back to that 19-year-old version of yourself, what's maybe one thing you would tell that 19-year-old version of yourself to maybe fast track the progress a little bit? Or, one thing you really wish that you knew back then that you know now?
Your brain's really your own limit, you know? Um, your brain is only your own limit, and what you think is impressive is really only because your surroundings,
Mm,
right? Like some people might think, being, if you're around a family that's obese, right? 20% body fat could be an amazing shape, right? Bless me.
that's you.
Uh, Thank you. Right? If you vice versa, if you come from like a family like on the streets, right, and you make $5,000 a month, you're like the king of the castle, right? You go into Colombia, you're like the king. Uh, so on and so forth. So it's like your surroundings. If you're with guys that that don't really have a lot of dating options, you get one girl and you're like the playboy of the town. So it's like
Mhm,
figuring out go around a group of people that will actually have what you want. I think a lot of people play into their needs, not their wants, in their one life,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
I technically don't need to get in better shape, but I want to.
mhm,
I want to. It's like I want to push myself. Do I need bigger shoulders, bigger arms? No, but I'm pushing it because I want to see what I can do. And
mhm,
so on so forth, I think just getting around the right people. I guess to answer your question is just your brain is your own limit. So start believing you can do it and watch things kind of fall into place for you,
mhm,
right? Whether you believe you can do it or you can't do it, you're right either way,
mhm. Bars,
right?
bars. Yeah.
So
All right. This has been a great conversation. One last question for you.
yeah.
Let's go back to, thinking if you can do it, you can. If you have any one nugget that you want to drop for the people watching, like if you were to summarize everything, or you just have like your one powerful message, what I want you to do is just look straight in the camera, stare right in the souls of our listeners, tell them what's up.
Yeah, so I'll show you. This is my to-do list today. This was it yesterday. So I keep every day a to-do list of what I need to do, and I do not eat dinner until all these things are fucking finished. Now that's extreme, but extreme actions have extreme results. So if you want extreme results, you either sacrifice more or desire less. So this way I make sure no life and bullshit gets in the way and I actually do everything I said I was going to do, which builds confidence in yourself, which will allow you to think you can have confidence to do bigger shit. So if you don't really know how to believe in yourself, it's probably because you haven't done nothing impressive in your life so far. And that's okay. You have to just admit it. But then you start winning the day, and then after you start stacking all these wins, it's like, oh shit, I can actually do more than I thought I was. You are capable of more than what you can do. If you're in a first world country and you have a roof over your head, there's no excuse. So that is my final message. Let's rock and roll. And
Get it.
thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Peace.